How's it doing, fam? Today we're going to talk about a degree that I studied from the Wits University, and that is a BCom in Information Systems. I have been getting quite a number of questions around the BCom in Information Systems, or whether it's still relevant. What exactly do you learn? So if you are sitting in Matric or you're planning on actually doing a BCom in Information Systems, in this video, I'm going to break it down in detail in terms of what you covered, the different projects, and whether you can actually still get a job. And we're going to look at the requirements, especially if you want to get into the program. If you're new, do not forget to subscribe to my channel, and also don't forget to like this video so that more people can actually see content like this. Just an introduction to myself. My name is Clarence, and I'm the founder of Wits Academy, a data and AI academy that actually educates people with data and AI skills. So if you want to learn more about us, you can just go to the description and you'd see more information about us, or you can just go to witwatersrand.com where you can get more information about our academy. Cool. Without wasting any time, let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to look at today is basically the entry requirement for this program, right? So if you want to do a BCom in Information Systems at Wits, you basically need to have an APA score of about 38 and above, right? And you need a level 5 for your English home language or first additional language, and you also need a level 5 for mathematics. So those are sort of the requirements that you actually need to get into this program, right? So you need mathematics and English as either a first additional language or home language. So those are the two main requirements, honestly, and also in addition to the APA score that you need to have, right? Okay, now, so let's start with the first day, right? I think the first day is one that I would say I didn't like as much, right? Because there was just so much going on. Because the first day you have to learn so much, right? You have to learn about accounting, you have to learn about economics and all of that. But honestly, I feel like all of those things that you learn really do add value to what you will do later on in the future, because the foundation is very broad. You know, it gives you an opportunity to either pivot into finance with IT, economics and stuff like that. I think that was also great, as much as I did not like it, right? So first year, honestly, the modules that you get introduced in, so you've got your information systems one, so that actually happens for the entire year. So you do it for like the first semester and the second semester. In the first year, honestly, what you do is really an introduction into IT, like what exactly is information systems, what is a system, what is data, you know, like what is information. So you get to really learn the core fundamentals that actually make up a system. And the nice thing that you also get introduced in, it's really the sort of like architecture of systems. You know, you get to understand the components, the pieces of a system. So if you're completely new to IT, I found this one very entry friendly, in a sense that you get a very good understanding of when someone says this is a system, what does it actually do and what are the components of system. For me, I feel like, especially in the age of AI, that's a very critical skill to have, understanding the components that really make up a system. So you'll probably do this for the whole year, and there will be some projects in between, but majority of the projects were really based on system design and all of that. And I think in the second semester, that's when you learn about something called pseudocode. So pseudocode is basically you writing, let's say, code in human language, right? Instead of you using, let's say, programming languages, you literally write in words to say if something is equals to this, then you can say it's equals to that. So it's really about you writing the code using human language. So that's it with the information systems. But beyond just doing information systems, you also do accounting one. So accounting one is when you learn the fundamentals of accounting. I feel like this is going to be useful if later in future you want to start your own business, because it is also helping me in my business right now, because I had some sort of foundation in accounting one. It really is great to actually have. Then you also have something called computational mathematics. This one, if you're going to branch into data science later in the future, I feel like this mathematics is really helpful. At that point, I didn't understand why we're learning about it, but computational mathematics is really great because you learn about integrals, right? Basically, integrals are really cool. They can be really applied in like data science. So it's a really good mathematics foundation. So unlike other information systems degrees I know from other universities, this one actually does introduce you to computational mathematics. Plus, you also do business statistics. Look, statistics is very important, and this works well also if you're going to branch into data science. So I feel like the foundation of mathematics and all of that, you do get it with a BCom Information Systems. So statistics was literally how is statistics applied in business, right? I found that one really cool to actually do, right? Then the other ones that you're going to do is basically economics 1, and it's actually economics 1. So you do microeconomics and macroeconomics. Microeconomics is understanding, I think I did this a long time ago. I think it's really about focusing on the core, let's say, components that make up an economy, right? And then the macroeconomics, when you're looking at economics at a larger scale, from a countrywide sort of view, the massive factors that influence an economy and all of that. So the first one is really focused about the formulas, elasticity of demand, supply and demand, which are really good concepts for you to actually be exposed in, right? I found that one really quite great. So I think the first semester really, the first year, these are the modules that you learn about. Information systems for the whole year. Accounting 1, I think that is also for the whole year. And you've got computational mathematics, and you've got business statistics, you've got economics, then you've got economics. Actually, I think accounting 1 could be for like the first semester. But yeah, I think it could be for the first semester actually. Then once you're done with accounting, I think that's it. Yeah, you only do accounting for semester 1. Then after that, you don't do it. Mathematics first semester, computational mathematics, and then second semester, you do business statistics, right? Cool. So that's it with the first day. So the other one that's really important is now we're going to the second year. Look, I think second year, this is when you start to go, let's say, a little bit deeper in some of the concepts, and you get to really understand what really information systems is all about, right? I think the way that Wits actually structures is because it's a BCom, right? So you get to choose other majors, right? So by default, you have to do information systems. But if you want to do marketing, you can do marketing. If you want to do finance, you can do finance. If you want to do economics, you can do economics. But one thing that's also cool is that if you want to do information systems plus computer science, you can actually do that. However, you are required to sort of do additional mathematics that's required in computer science. So I know people that actually did computer science and information systems. However, you have to do all of that. But if you just want to focus on your BCom degree, I think that's also great, right? Cool. So second year, you do information systems 2, right? This is still information systems, but you're upgrading to more concepts, right? And you get to choose. So you get to choose I think you can choose up to 2 other modules, right? You can do corporate finance, you can do investment. So you can do corporate finance and investment. You can do economics 2. You can do marketing, in terms of you can do consumer behavior, principles of marketing, integrated marketing, retail marketing. So those are marketing modules. Or you can also do insurance and risk management, human resources and stuff like that. So you can mix it up the way that you want it, right? That really is up to you, right? But one thing that I would say is it really depends on what your goal is, right? So I mixed it up with marketing and business because I knew that I wanted to get into business at some point. So that's why for me, mixing up with business and marketing was the way. So if you want to get into finance, you can mix it up with finance. If you want to get into insurance and risk management, you can also do that, right? It really is up to you and the goal that you want to do, right? But second year, really information systems 2. And this is when we started learning coding, right? The programming language that we learned was C#, so you get introduced to C# programming, right? And in addition to C# programming, you then have to build a project. So you'll still go deeper into system design, ERD diagrams, information diagrams and all of that. So system design, you learn more about the design principles or the design techniques required to build a system. And in second year, you also have to build an application using the knowledge that you've learned, and you have to design it from scratch. So it's an end-to-end project where you start from an idea, you build an idea, and you work with a team. I think last time I checked, there's a group, they create a group, and you guys basically work on it together to actually build a project. So I feel like second year, you get deeper into the architecture, plus you also start applying your skills in building a system. So there's a couple of projects where you have to do, there's even programming assessments and tests and all of that, but especially in the first semester, you have to write C# exams and testing and stuff like that, and the outcome is that you have to actually code. So coding properly starts at second year. Then think second semester, that's when you apply your coding that you've learned to building an actual system that you'll then present as a project. I think that one is really good because you get experience in building a practical sort of like system, right? So now going to third year. Now third year also gets a little bit more exciting, right? So in third year, you get to choose one major. So if you choose marketing in second year and let's say corporate finance, you get to choose between corporate finance and marketing. Which one do you want to specialize in? So in third year, you can only take one major, you cannot take two, but you only take from the two that you would have selected in your second year, right? That's very, very important. So I took marketing instead of business management because I felt like marketing would have been more important. So I did marketing in my third year, and it has been really helpful, especially when I started my own business, right? But from an information system perspective, you do two sort of like modules. You've got management and applications of information systems. You've got information development project. So information systems development project, right? This one is a full year project where you are working on a solution or you are building an application, right? So you're put into a group and you have to build an application. So throughout the year, there'll be various stages and you get to learn about different techniques in developing systems, right? So that one is really cool. You go deeper into building applications and all of that. That is the core focus on this one. And the management and applications of information systems, they both run for the full year, right? That's very important. With management and applications of information systems, I think with this one, you get an introduction into the database, data space. So we learn about data infrastructure, data architectures, the different types. We learned about Hadoop and all of that, which are really big concepts in the data engineering space also. So they cover quite a lot. You also learn SQL, a great programming language for creating data sets. And you also do projects. You have to submit projects on SQL. There's a lot of assessments on it. You get tested on your ability to write SQL, and you also learn Power BI. That's another cool thing that you also learn. There's also UX design, so you learn about how to build nice interfaces and all of that. And on top of that, there's something called, I think it's around how information systems affect people in society. So you learn about the ethics side of things. So I found third year really exciting because there's just a lot going on and you really learn quite a lot, right? And then the final outcome with the project, you have to present a fully fledged project to, let's say your lecturer and all of that, or to the broader team. Is the final project that you get to do. Honestly, I would say this was one of the most exciting. Third year is really exciting. I also did enjoy it quite a lot, honestly. And overall, I can say with confidence that this is a degree that is still relevant, and I didn't struggle to find a job. Honestly, I had offers before I even wrote my June exams. I literally had the problem of having to choose between offers, right? And obviously that does come with working hard and all of that, but I would say this is a very much relevant degree that you can still use anywhere that you go, and it's very flexible. The nice thing is that they teach you the foundation of IT, which I feel like it makes it great. And because of that, you're able to work, and you can go into being information systems design and all of that. You can go and be a data analyst. You know, there is really so much flexibility. I think after the degree, really it's up to you how you specialize. That's one thing that I would say, because it's a broad degree. It's not too specialized. It really covers a lot. So if you want to go to cybersecurity or whatever, you can literally go and work anywhere because you've been given the IT fundamental. So honestly, that is the information systems degree from Wits in a nutshell. You can do honors if you want to, right? So there's an option for you to actually do your honors, so you can actually do that. So in a nutshell, that is the degree. So I don't know what you guys think. If you're thinking of writing, just let me know in the comments if you want to enroll for it and all of that. I can answer some of the questions as they actually come. But honestly, my experience was great, and I would highly recommend this degree. So if you like this video, please make sure that you follow and subscribe so that you can see more content like this.